At the state capitol, lawmakers have been working toward a new state budget for months, but with a deadline quickly approaching, they seem to be far from reaching a deal. 13 on Your Side political reporter Josh Albertus joins us now with what the different sides are saying tonight. Josh.
And Juliet, that deadline is nearly here. State law says they have to get the next year's budget done by July 1st. That gives time for places like schools to know what they have to work with ahead of the school year and make plans based on how much they'll be getting. But even though both the state Senate and the state House have passed versions of an education budget, there's a lot of negotiation to be done before those proposals become one. You take a look at the Senate budget, slight increases for many public universities across the board. And in the House budget, some key sticking points there. According to legislative analysts, you would see a lot more in operations funding for most universities in the state, but big reductions in that funding for Michigan State University and University of Michigan at Ann Arbor specifically. It would also include restrictions on public universities spending the funding on diversity, equity, and inclusion, according to that analysis. As that deadline approaches, we heard from either side of the aisle just today.
So I've always said I've preferred to do it by July 1. I just have not thought that these people will do it by July 1. And that's why I've told you consistently that, I think it's going to be much later.
I can't speak to the conversations that Speaker Hall and Majority Leader Brinks and the governor have been having about meeting those deadlines, but obviously he doesn't seem terribly concerned. The Republican caucus doesn't take this very seriously.
And as we mentioned, by law, the state budget has to be finalized by July 1st, but that does not come with a penalty. That's why you've heard the House Speaker say he likely thinks an agreement could come later. But if there is no budget by October 1st, the state will face a shutdown. Juliet.
And we will continue to follow this. Thank you, Josh.